Okay, let's just dive right into this explainer and tackle something that, honestly, almost all of us struggle with. I'm talking about that utterly exhausting cycle of desperately trying to be understood. We've all been there, right? You make a choice, maybe you set a boundary, and suddenly, bam, you feel this overwhelming, frantic urge to justify your existence. Well, today, we're going to break down exactly why you need to stop doing that and how walking away from this one little habit can completely change your life.
So I want you to pause for a second. Honestly reflect on your own daily routine. How much of your vital, limited energy is totally wasted trying to convince people that your feelings are valid? I mean, how many times have you over-explained a simple no just so the other person wouldn't get mad at you? If you are just entirely drained by the burden of constantly defending your reality, you gotta stick with me through this explainer, because right now, you're fighting an invisible battle.
And this brilliantly illustrates the absolutely futile dynamic we get trapped in. On one side, your intention is purely a desire to connect. You think, hey, if I just explain this perfectly, they're gonna get it, and we'll be closer. But look at the actual result. You end up spending 20, 30, maybe 40 minutes trying to make someone understand your perspective, only to walk away feeling completely invisible, dismissed, and just entirely alone inside your own experience.
Let's actually walk through how this plays out in real time. It is a painful but super relatable sequence. You start by trying to explain your feelings. Then, when you see that you're failing to be understood, this underlying panic sets in. So what do? You try another angle. You rephrase your words again, desperately hoping that this time the magical, perfect combination of syllables is going to somehow unlock their comprehension. Society constantly and falsely teaches us that communication is the universal fix, that if someone misunderstands us, well, we just haven't tried hard enough.
But the absolutely crucial realization is this: that deep, agonizing need to be perfectly comprehended by everyone around you, it's not actually a communication issue. It is a psychological trap. When you're constantly performing and defending your reality, you are losing a psychological war that you probably didn't even know you were fighting.
Now, legendary psychologist Carl Jung framed this exact problem in a really fascinating way. He elevates this from a simple, everyday communication flaw into a highly destructive psychological force. Jung observed that this relentless pattern, this deep attachment to being understood, is actually one of the primary things keeping people stuck at lower, way more anxious levels of consciousness.
Let's slow down here for a second, because this concept of outsourcing reality changes everything. Think about it. If you need other people to understand you in order for your feelings to feel valid, you are fundamentally outsourcing your sense of reality to their ability to comprehend it. That means your inner experience only feels real when someone else stamps it with their approval. And as we're going to see, that is a deeply unstable foundation to build your life upon.
Because here's the harsh reality about the people you're trying so hard to convince. Most of them, even the ones who genuinely love you, literally do not have the biological or historical access required to understand your inner world. I mean, they do not live inside your body. They possess a completely different nervous system. They have an entirely different personal history, which means they view the world through a fundamentally different lens of perception. They simply cannot fully understand you.
Honestly, think of it like this. Over-explaining your reality is essentially begging blind people to tell you that the sun is shining. It highlights the sheer absurdity of waiting around for an external confirmation that, by definition, is never gonna come. And just think about the absolute wry irony of this whole dynamic. We spend billions, literally billions of dollars on therapy globally, trying to figure out why we feel so empty, anxious, and insecure. And all the while, we're voluntarily handing the deed to our own sanity over to people who, let's be honest, haven't even figured out their own minds yet. It's totally wild when you actually stop and think about it.
To put it plainly, expecting someone else to validate your unique psychological reality is basically like asking a random stranger on the street to grade your final exam in quantum physics. These strangers, these friends, even your closest family members, they simply don't possess the rubric to your mind. So why do you keep giving them the pen to grade your life? You got to take that pen back.
And this brings us right to Jung's ultimate solution, developing what he called internal authority. People who operate at elevated levels of consciousness have fundamentally transformed their relationship with being understood. They rely on internal authority, which is basically a relationship with your own inner knowing that is so remarkably strong, it can stand entirely on its own, zero external confirmation needed. Now, it's really important to clarify the difference here. Developing internal authority isn't about arrogance, and it definitely isn't about just isolating yourself from the rest of the world. You can absolutely still share your experience, but you do it when it feels right and when the other person is actually capable of receiving it. What you completely drop is the needing them to get it part. Your reality, your truth, and your peace, they don't change based on who in the room is able to follow along. Now, that is genuine self-trust.
So how do we practically do this? Well, here is an actionable roadmap to help you reclaim your independence. Step 1. Explicitly stop over-explaining and justifying your boundaries. Just stop. Step 2. Build your own psychological container. Create a safe space inside your own mind, where your feelings are validated by you and you alone. And step 3. Let them misunderstand you. Just let it happen, and let it be okay.
But I can't give you this explainer without acknowledging the realistic, pretty heavy cost of self-trust that Jung explicitly warned about. When you finally stop chasing understanding and you put an end to that constant performance of guilt, a shift is going to happen. Some of your relationships will naturally dissolve. And yeah, that can be deeply painful.
You see, the people in your life who relied on your over-explaining, the ones who really benefited from you constantly twisting yourself into knots to keep the peace, they aren't going to know what to do with your new, quiet confidence. As a result, you are likely going to face some accusations. They'll call you cold, they'll call you difficult, they might even tell you that you're just being closed off.
I urge you, whatever you do not let those accusations pull you right back into the trap. What feels like a loss right now is actually a massive clearing out. By letting those dysfunctional dynamics just fall away, you are creating space for authentic connection, the kind of connection where you don't have to exhaustingly earn your right to exist in every single conversation.
So, I want to challenge you directly right now. Consider this the ultimate test of your psychological maturity. Take a look inward. Are you still desperately over-explaining yourself to everyone around you? Or have you finally found the quiet, untouchable power of simply letting people misunderstand you? Leave your truth in the comments right now. Honestly, acknowledge where you're at.
You'll know you've finally broken free when you experience a misunderstanding, and instead of feeling destabilized, you feel solid. Destabilization is that frantic, panic-driven urge to go back and try to explain yourself just one more time. But freedom? Freedom is feeling sad that you were unseen, maybe even a little disappointed, but remaining completely solid. You walk away with your inner reality entirely intact.
Because at the end of the day, self-trust is one of the most powerful, elevated, psychological states a human being can possibly reach. When your inner world feels valid, regardless of who can access it, you've won. Stop exhausting your daily energy translating your depth for people who are perfectly committed to the surface. It's time to stop outsourcing your soul. Stepping into true internal authority means you no longer need the world's permission to exist exactly as you are. So I'm going to leave you with this one final crucial question to chew on. Are you finally ready to let them misunderstand you? Really think about it. Embrace the unshakable freedom that comes with it. Thanks for diving into this explainer with me, and I challenge you to start building that internal container today.